Welcome back everybody. You have landed on the top note. Today we are doing part 2 of my perfume collection video. Part 1 was my Guerlain collection. Today I'm going to go through my Chanel collection. I'll start with the most obvious ones, the Chanel No. 5 range that I have. So my Chanel No. 5 journey started with Eau Première. I still really love this fragrance. It's a much more powdery floral version of the original Chanel No. 5. It's still got the beautiful aldehydes in there, but as I said, it's a bit lighter, it's a bit more airy and a bit more powdery, so it's a little bit more wearable for those who don't like the original No. 5. I also have the EDT. This one to me is a lot more crisper, it's a lot soapier, and it really does go well with putting it on after a shower or something like that. It just has that really clean, crisp smell. It reminds me a lot of Imperial Leather soap actually, and it lasts really well, so I quite enjoy this one. The next one I have is just a little purse spray of the Chanel No. 5 Pure Parfum. So it just comes in this little vial basically. And yeah, I've really used quite a bit of this actually. I do enjoy the Pure Parfum. Pure Parfum was my second love from the No. 5 range after discovering Eau Première. So once I had fallen in love with that, I became quite interested in the Chanel No. 5 line, and the Pure Parfum was the second one for me to buy. The last one for me to start to appreciate was the Eau de Parfum. This was by far the hardest one for me to appreciate, but now I really love it. I think possibly the reason why this one was a little bit more challenging to me is the florals, particularly the ylang ylang is a lot bigger in this one than it is in the others, but still very gorgeous. And then my more recent addition, which I had in my last, I think my April roundup video, I picked up a bottle of the vintage Chanel No. 5, which smells quite different from the modern version, partly due to the age, obviously, and that, some of the top notes have probably turned, but it still smells really nice. What I get more from this than the more modern version is it's sort of less clean smelling. I think there are definitely more animalic notes present in the perfume, and it's a lot more ambery and spicy as well. Next up, we move on to Chanel No. 19. This was one of my first loves from the Chanel line. I really enjoy this one. It's very green, it's powdery, there's still white florals in there, but they're very light, beautiful green powdery fragrance. It smells very refined and I really adore this one. I also have this one in the Pure Parfum. I haven't really worn this yet. I have opened it because I couldn't help myself. I bought this off a friend in the fragrance community for a fantastic price, and it is just a stunning fragrance. In fact, I haven't got a scent of the day on yet today. I might wear it today because we are going to take the dog for a walk after this, and it's a beautiful sunny day, so it would work perfectly in the autumn sunshine. The next one was a more recent addition and quite a surprise for me. This is Gabrielle Essence. I did not love the original Gabrielle, but this one I really do enjoy. It's a bit sweeter, I think. The original Gabrielle was a little bit sour on my skin. Possibly it was a little bit more citrusy. This one has more of a honeyed note to it. There's a bit more depth, and it just really brings out those beautiful fleshy florals that are in here. So I really enjoy this one. The next one I have a somewhat love-hate relationship with. This is Coco Noir. I do really, when I really love it, I really love it. But when it's not gelling with me, it really just does not work at all. This one is a lot more patchouli heavy than compared to, say, the original Coco, and I just find that sometimes it can be a little bit screechy on me, and it can be very headache inducing if I'm not careful. So I really do have to kind of be in the mood for this one, but I'm not decluttering it because I still really love it, and of course I really love the bottle. So definitely not going to get rid of that one. The next one I've been through a couple of bottles of. This is Allure, and this is a really great one for the office. I wear this a lot to work, or at least I did. I haven't worn it for quite some time, but you know, 2020, no one was in the office anyway, so that's probably why. This one I think has more powdery peachy notes in it, and it's just, I don't know, it kind of does smell a little bit more grown up, I suppose, and I guess that's why I liked wearing it to the office, because I felt like I'd be taken more seriously or something. But in any case, I really do love it, and it's not for everybody, but if you love it, you love it. And this is the Eau de Parfum. I haven't tried the Eau de Toilette. I'm actually starting to think maybe I should go back and try a lot of the Eau de Toilettes from this range, because for the most part, I've always gravitated towards the Eau de Parfums. Anyway, as I said, I really do love this one. This is not my first bottle of it, and I suspect it probably won't be my last either. The next one, I have the big bottle. This is Coco Chanel. I really, really love this fragrance. There's just something so recognizable about this fragrance. I guess lots of people have it. This one is actually a love of a very good friend of mine. We've been friends since early childhood. I mean, I think she's worn this for years and years. And it's strange because now, because she was wearing it so much, I now associate this fragrance with her. And so whenever I wear this fragrance or smell it, I think of her. So Lou, I don't even know if you are aware that I have a YouTube channel, but if you stumble across this, just know that I always think of you whenever I wear this fragrance. And another one from the Chanel No. 5 range, which I forgot to mention earlier, is I also have the hair mist. I also have the skin cream. I have everything in the Chanel No. 5. I just really can't get enough of this. The hair mist to me smells a little bit more like perhaps Eau Premiere, because it does have a powderiness to it, but it also has a similar vibe to, say, the Eau de Toilette, which has that crisp cleanness to it. So I really appreciate wearing this, and it's just a great way to supplement your perfume wearing, to have a hair mist of the same perfume, because it does last longer in your hair, which I think everybody knows by now. Fragrances tend to stick to clothes and hair a lot longer than they do on skin. But of course, putting real perfume in your hair is meant to be a big no-no. I still do it, but if I can get a hair mist, I use the hair mist as well. So I do have a couple of perfumes where I have the matching hair mist. It's also a really great way if you can't afford the standard perfume bottle. The hair mists usually are quite a bit cheaper than the perfume, and you can always just wear the hair mist as a perfume. Probably wouldn't last as long on skin, but again, if you supplement with spraying it on your hair, it's a much more affordable way to access some of these fragrances. The next bottle I have here is from the Les Eaux line, which is the sort of Eau de Toilette range that they did to showcase places where Gabrielle Chanel holidayed. And the one I have is Paris Vanille. It's just a really bright, citrusy, fruity floral, I think. And I don't know, it's just very bright and bubbly, and I really enjoy it. So I usually wear this sort of on a hot day, in the sunshine. It's perfect for that sort of thing. So the last three I want to talk about are from the Les Exclusives line. And the first one from the three that I want to talk about is Bois d'Azil, or Bois d'Azils. This is a really beautiful sandalwood fragrance, and it's creamy, but at the same time it's powdery as well. It's actually quite powdery once it goes on my skin. And in addition to that beautiful sandalwood, there's quite a hefty dose of iris in here, and orris. I think there's orris root and iris in here. So I think that's where perhaps a lot of the powderiness comes from. There's all sorts of florals. There is, of course, the characteristic aldehydes in here. The aldehydes aren't as forward as they are in some of the other Chanel fragrances, but definitely still present and still noticeable. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful blend. It's woody without being sharp, and it's a very quiet fragrance, very calming kind of fragrance, and I just adore it. It's beautiful. The next one is a lot brighter. This one is 1932. This one is I guess a fruity floral, really. As far as Chanel fragrances go, it is quite sweet. If you were comparing it on a sweetness scale to everything else on the market, it still would be considered to be not that sweet, I think. But you definitely get, there is a pear note in the top, which I don't find to be super prominent. There is grapefruit in here, and that I do notice. It's definitely that characteristic Chanel citrus. The grapefruit definitely is noticeable in here, but it's primarily a jasmine fragrance. However, I get lots and lots and lots of iris from this, and in fact, the more I wear it, the more it becomes more of an iris fragrance for me than it does a jasmine fragrance. So yeah, that is really beautiful and one of my favorites to wear to work or any time of the year. It's an anytime fragrance for me. And the last one of my absolute favorites, is number 22. This gets compared a lot to Chanel No. 5 because it's very aldehydic. The aldehydes in this pack a much bigger punch than I think they do. I mean, this whole fragrance is a lot more punchier than No. 5, but I think the florals in here are a lot more prominent than they are in the No. 5 range. So yeah, this is just very beautiful, very clean, soapy, aldehydic floral. And you know, if you want to smell good and you want to smell clean and you want it to last all day, this is the one to go for. So it was inevitable that I was going to forget one, and sure enough I did. And the one I forgot to include was Sycamore, which is also from the Les Exclusives line, and I bought this one for my partner Matt a couple of years ago. So this fragrance is based around vetiver, and it's a beautiful, clean, dry vetiver fragrance that has just a hint of smokiness and also a little bit of citrus as well. So it's a really classy, elegant fragrance. Leans maybe just a hint masculine, but I really enjoy wearing it too. Although again, I primarily bought it for my partner Matt, so you know, I try not to wear it because he really likes it as well. So that's it for my Chanel collection. I don't think I've missed any. I wear Chanel a lot, despite the fact that my biggest fragrance loves in my collection, or what I consider to be my favorites, are from mostly other houses. However, the Chanel fragrances that I have are ones that I know, apart from Coco Noir, I could pick up any of these on any day and wear them and know that I smell good and I'd feel confident in wearing them. Other fragrances, as I've talked about before, of course, you know, they don't always suit every circumstance, but I just think the Chanel fragrances, yes, everyone has them. Yes, they may not be that unique in the market anymore because so many people have them and they're so iconic. But that's the thing, they're popular for a reason. They work really well. And effectively, the only people who I know that don't like Chanel fragrances tend to be people who don't like citruses, in particular grapefruit, because grapefruit seems to be featured a lot in Chanel fragrances, or they just don't like the way that they do their aldehydes, I guess. But generally, I would say if you don't like No. 5, there's a good chance you're going to like something else from the Chanel range. That's why, I mean, I love them because they are just so easy to pick up and wear when I don't know what to wear or I don't have time to think about it. Anyway, let me know if you enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. And the other thing too is that I'm curious to start trying a little bit more of the men's fragrances in the Chanel line, because I did try Antaeus not that long ago and I really enjoyed that one. And make some recommendations to me. Which ones from the men's line would you recommend that I try? I'm definitely keen to get some samples and start playing with them. So anyway, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.